Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here today because honestly, we're looking at a foundational shift in medicine right now. A shift so massive, it's going to completely change how every single one of us interacts with our doctors. We're talking about the invisible revolution of artificial intelligence. You know, for decades, we've thought of medical innovation as like new physical tools or shiny new chemical compounds. But today, the absolute most powerful tool in the hospital might literally just be lines of code. All right, let's take a quick look at our roadmap for today. We're going to cover 1. A medical paradigm shift, 2. Predicting the invisible, 3. The doctor's new assistant, 4. The guardrails and risks, and finally, 5. The future of care. Let's dive right in. Starting off with Section 1, a medical paradigm shift. To really grasp what's happening in healthcare right now, we have to recognize that we're actively moving away from the old, historical model of medicine. You know the one, waiting around to treat sick people. We're shifting toward predicting illness long before it ever happens. Experts in our source material are calling this a foundational change in the toolkit, in the same way that algebra changed our understanding of the world and of math. Just think about how profound that is for a second. AI isn't just a slightly faster calculator. It is a total, ground-up paradigm shift in how we perceive and decode the human body. And if you're wondering if this is just hype, well, the financial and scientific communities are throwing massive resources behind this. In 2024 alone, venture capital funding in healthcare AI startups hit an absolute staggering $11 billion. That's billion with a B. So this isn't just theoretical tech chatter anymore. This is a highly capitalized boom, and it's driving a super rapid transition from just building raw AI models to creating specialized, targeted tools that actually work with real, complex medical data. Let's put that into perspective. Under our current medical system, we usually intervene in the later stages of a disease, right? By the time you actually feel sick and drag yourself to a doctor, reversing the damage is incredibly hard. Well, AI medicine flips this entirely on its head. It empowers us to step in much earlier, managing the disease and stopping it in its tracks before you ever even feel a single symptom.
Which brings us to Section 2, Predicting the Invisible.
Okay, so let's move from the whole theory of predictive medicine to a concrete real-world example. AstraZeneca recently unveiled this incredible AI tool, and they named it Milton. To build Milton, researchers trained the AI on just a massive mountain of medical data from 500,000 patients in the UK Biobank. It analyzes 67 routine biomarkers, so stuff they collect during a standard health check, like your blood pressure, urine tests, weight. But it goes so much deeper than that, actually studying 3,000 essential proteins found in your blood. Basically, the AI is hunting for patterns across all these everyday health metrics that are just way too subtle for the human eye to ever catch. And by finding those invisible patterns, Milton can predict over 1,000 different diseases. And we're talking a decade or more before an actual clinical diagnosis. I mean, that is literally the holy grail of preventative medicine sitting right in front of us. Out of those 1,000 diseases, Milton's predictive accuracy was rated as exceptional for 121 of them. And we are talking about some serious heavy hitters here. Devastating conditions like dementia, COPD, chronic kidney disease, and even bone marrow and prostate cancers. By identifying who is actually going to develop these diseases 10 whole years in advance, pharmaceutical companies can pinpoint entirely new targets for drug discovery. Plus, researchers can develop highly effective early diagnostic tools. It's a total game changer. Moving right along to Section 3, the doctor's new assistant. Now, while the giant pharmaceutical companies are looking at vast populations, let's zoom in on academic settings for a minute. Here, we see a huge focus on how AI acts as a dedicated assistant to specialists, rather than, a robot replacement for your doctor. And it's definitely not just the Googles and OpenAIs of the world pushing this forward. Prestigious institutions are heavily backing specialized AI too. Take Yale University, for instance. They are investing $150 million over 5 years into focused AI development to directly assist clinicians in their everyday workflows.
One of the most incredible outcomes of this academic investment is happening right now at Yale's Cardiovascular Data Science Lab. They call it the CARDS Lab. They've built something called ECGPT. It's an app-based generative AI tool, and it's brilliantly simple in practice. It just takes an image of a standard electrocardiogram, that squiggly electrical recording of your heart they take using those little stickers on your chest, and instantly generates a full diagnostic report. Boom! It provides an immediate, highly accurate diagnostic baseline for clinicians literally anywhere in the world to confirm and use.
This sets up such a stark contrast between human and machine vision. Think about it. A human cardiologist looking at a typical 12-lead ECG sees the basic electrical leads, sure, but they generally cannot spot heart failure just from looking at that image. The AI eyeball, on the other hand, detects completely hidden signals. It can trigger an alert that a patient has left ventricular systolic dysfunction with an ejection fraction of under 40%. Actually, to put that in plain English, it means a severe, life-threatening drop in the heart's pumping power. The AI visualizes and flags a life-threatening issue that a human reader simply wouldn't be able to detect.
All right, let's shift gears for Section 4, the guardrails and risks. Because as we look at all these incredible advancements, we really have to deliberately slow down and address the ethical dilemmas here. This marks a very clear boundary between utopian promises and real-world dangers. Because when an AI can predict your future health a decade in advance, well, the most immediate threat suddenly becomes privacy. Tools as powerful as Milton could theoretically be weaponized. Scientists are already sounding the alarm that without careful, strict regulation, this predictive data could be used by health insurance companies or even employers to assess individuals without their knowledge or consent whatsoever. Just imagine being denied a job or suddenly facing skyrocketing insurance premiums simply because an algorithm predicted a health issue you don't even have yet. No way. So, because of these massive risks, a really complex web of regulatory bodies is scrambling to put up guardrails. You've got the US FDA overseeing specific clinical uses of AI. You have groups like the American Medical Association actively publishing codes of conduct. The National Academy of Medicine is developing ethics for responsible use. And meanwhile, academic AI labs are hyper-focused on rigorous peer reviews to ensure these models are actually equitable before they ever reach a patient. But there is some immediate good news when it comes to the fear of, say, a computer making a medical error today. Experts reassure us that right now, the risk of misdiagnosis caused solely by AI is actually quite limited. Why? Because the machine is not making the final call. There is still a real human doctor involved. Clinicians are absolutely essential for interpreting the AI's outputs, understanding patient preferences, and actually writing the prescriptions. AI is just the beginning of the diagnostic question, not the end of it. Let's wrap this up with Section 5, the future of care. As we bring this whole narrative to its final arc, let's step back and place this into historical context. One of the experts in our source material actually keeps 4 photographs on his wall, representing the great enabling innovations of our lifetime: the transistor, the camera, the telephone, and the web source code. AI is firmly positioned as the next monumental step in this exact sequence. It is the brand new foundation for the next century of care. But all of this leaves us with one final profound question. Are we really going to become healthier? As the experts note, this isn't just the million-dollar question. It is the million-life question. The technology has immense, unbelievable benefits. But technology alone doesn't cure us. Our responsible, equitable application of it does. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep asking those big questions, and I'll catch you next time.